Hello there threes, and welcome to maths. We've got our arithmetic here ready to go. We've got the 9 times table, but basically they are known facts that you should know from the other times tables. And then we've got silver. We've got little sequencing going on in both the first number and the second number there. See if you can work out a pattern and perhaps predict what the answers are going to be before you actually start working that out. And then we've got known facts with division facts too for the gold. So have a go at those. You can pause the video and let's get the answers up in a second. So ready to go. There's the answers for your bronze, silver and gold, and you can pause the video to get your answers. And then we can move on to your starter. We've got the word problem here, which is an extra large milkshake is 750 millilitres, which is 420 more than a medium milkshake. So you've got the volume given for the larger one, so this one is going to be less, and when we've got something that's less we can work out the difference, and that's a subtraction, or you can count on. So I did a subtraction for this one, which was 750 take away 420, 330 millilitres. Okay, and then for the starter, for the cool starter, this is Chen and Rob are filling their cups with juice from the jug. Here's the jug, and we've got Chen's cup and Rob's cup. And Chen says if the cup is filled up, they will both get the same. And Rob says I will get less. So one of those children is correct, and one is wrong. Which one is correct? So you write their name in here, or you would just think of their name and write it down if you want to. And I'm going to put the answer up now. We've got Rob, because Chen's cup is bigger. They definitely won't get the same. If she fills her cup up, the capacity of that cup is greater than Rob's cup, so he will get less. So we've got a word problem today because we are looking at solving more volume word problems, and we're going to be using multiplication and division today. So you're going to think about perhaps ways that you can find out ways for you to calculate a multiplication or a division word problem. So we're going to talk about this one now. We've got Charles' buckets hold 8 litres of water each. So that's your first one, and you can see he's got 3 buckets there, each measuring 8 litres. And then we've got the other part of the question, which is Charles carries twice as much water as Hannah. So the question is at the bottom, how can we find out how much water she carries? So essentially you've got to do this in 2 parts. You've got to work out exactly how much Charles's buckets are, and then you know that he's carrying twice as much, so you're going to have to do a second step on this one. And these are 2-step problems today. So you're going to have to use the answer from one part of the question to use for the second part of the question. Okay, so have a talk now. Talk aloud, or talk to a sibling or a grown-up or somebody there, or just to the air, or even to the dog. That's really good for your development of your vocabulary and your understanding. Have a think about the strategies that you'd use as well for this. Okay, so you can pause the video. Okay, so we've definitely got to work out how much Charles is, the total of Charles is straight away, first of all, in order for us to be able to calculate Hannah's water amount. Okay, so how much she carries. So let's have a little look. So here's our model for this first part of the question. We've got 3 lots of 8, and the sum here is 3 times 8, which is 24. Okay, and you can do that 8 lots of 3 working up on your fingers, or you could do 3 lots of 8, which is 8, 16, 24. Okay, so we know that Charles, our first step, carries 24 litres of water. Okay, we've got that unit of measure in there as well. So he carries twice as much as Hannah. So in order for us to do the opposite of finding twice as much, we need to go work it backwards. Essentially, we'll do the inverse of doubling, which would be twice as much, because we don't know how much he's got. We're going to have to do the opposite. So we're working out the smaller amount, which we know is to divide. It's to subtract or divide. So we know he's got 24 litres. So what would our bar model look like for Hannah? What would we do to his to make it look as though we had twice as much? Hers is going to be a small bar, and his is going to be 2 times the length of that bar. So what I've done is first of all I split his into 2. I've put the overall amount up the top here so that I can show that split amount. So straight away I know I need to do 24, and I'm going to divide that by 2, okay, to get her amount. So I know that there are 12 2's in 24. I could count up and do that. If there's too many and I run out of fingers, for instance, for my counting up, counting the amount of 2's that are in 24, I can do a number line, and I can do some chunks of 10. Okay, so for that one I could have done 10 times 2 is 20 in one chunk, and then 2 times 2 is 4, which is the second little part, and that would be 12 overall. Okay, you count those jumps. Okay, I'm going to show you another one of those in a minute. So we know we can check this back at the end by doing our inverse, because if we look at Hannah's, right at the end, and we've got 12 litres of water, if we now think of that as being twice as much, has Hannah, if we do Hannah twice, do we come back to the total that Charles has got? So 2 lots of 12, 12 times 2 is 24, so we know we can use inverse to check that answer. It's a really good practice to get into that. So here's a guided practice one, and you can write this down. So you've got an example. The capacity of a large bottle is twice that of the small bottle. So this capacity is double the amount of this one. The capacity of the small bottle is 485 millilitres. Find the capacity of the larger bottle. And this way round is, I think, quite an easier way round of doing it, because you're using that, you know, it's using the smaller amount to get the larger amount, so you're not having to divide. So we've got the small one, which is 485. Larger one is twice that size, so 2 lots. Now I could do this because there's only 2. I could do it by adding, but I'm going to do it by times tables so that I can show you a nice grid. So you'd write the 2 underneath, then you'd partition this number into 400, 800, sorry, 80, 400s, 8 10s, 5 1s. Okay, then you're going to work out excuse me, 2 times the 100, so 2 times 400s is 800s, 2 times 8 10s is 16 10s, 160, 2 times 5 1s is 10. Then you're going to get these 3 totals, and you can add them together, so you're recombining those numbers. 800 plus 160 is 960, plus 10, 970. Okay. And what you can do as well here is, you could, if you wanted to, check it by doubling that number. 400 add 400, 80 add 80, so you can do it that way round as well if you want to. So the capacity of the larger bottle is 970 millilitres, and this, we make sure that this number sentence is written in. Don't want just the number written down, we want the answer to reflect what this question is asking. Okay, so the capacity of the large bottle is that amount. Okay, well, this is really good practice for you, and it also helps you in just consolidating your understanding of what you're being asked. 3 identical buckets of water fill the barrel up to the brim, and the barrel holds 66 litres of water. Find the capacity of each bucket. So our barrel is the larger amount, and our buckets are the smaller. So what do you reckon? Do you reckon it's going to be multiply or divide? Do you reckon it's going to be a division one, because we've got the larger volume, or the larger capacity here, and it's being split down into those 3 buckets. So we've got the 3. So our question here, what's our number sentence going to be? Yeah, number sentence is going to be 66 divided by 3, because we've got 3 bars. And we're going to do this on a number line. So here's our 0. We're going to take 3 times, or 10 lots of 3. We're going to jump up till we get to this number on our number line, and then we're going to stop. So we've got 10 lots of 3 is 30, so we add on 30. Another lot, because that would take us up to 60. Can we do another lot? No, because it's going to take us way past. Okay, that would take us up to 90. So now we can do it in, well, we've got to get to 66. So I know that 6 is 2 lots of 3, so I can do that in one lump. 2 lots of 3 is 6, and I get to 66. Now I need to count the jumps that I've made. 10, 20, 22. So the capacity of each bucket is 22 litres, making sure I got that unit of measure on there. And then my answer could go in here as well, but as long as I've got it at the end, that's absolutely fine. So today is the day. You're going to draw your working out column for you to put in your your grid multiplication or your division number line. Okay, and want to see that working out. Don't want to see it mentally today. We want you to make sure that you've got that so that you can double check, and you're going to read the question and get your units of measure in there. We need to see those bar models. It's very good practice for you, with a ruler please, and making sure they're nice and neat and tidy, and that they're clear, and you should be able to see from there straight away what type of calculation you're going to do. Use your working out column, show us that with the chugging on a number line, and you're going to include your unit of measure with your answer. Okay, so here's the questions coming up. Okay, so there's a couple of multiplication ones and a couple of division ones, and you're good to go, right? So I need you to go and get started with those and read them really carefully. Make sure you grasp that question before you do your bar models, and let's get those done. Okay, that's it from me for now. Take care now. Bye.